This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Did I fall asleep behind the wheel? Got lost in a daydream that felt surreal. How did I misread the situation and fuel the fantasy? Usually I'm so good at reading people. I guess I wasn't right.
The following program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, I think we've established that over the years. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today is Friday, May the 1st. Yes, that is exactly what is going on. It is May the 1st of 2026, and we are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM. And then we are hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, yes, there you go. We're doing a lot of stuff as we are hanging out, no doubt about that, because now is the multiverse of things that we get to do. So there you go. So let's talk about it, because it is Freeform Friday. So what does that mean for most accounts? Well, it means that weirdness thing. It means that today is the day that we're going to talk a little bit about everything that is going on inside of the multiverse. And we get to play catch up. Not play with catch up, but play catch up. So everything that we didn't play earlier in the week, we get to play today. Okay, not everything, but close to, we might have missed a clip here, a clip there. We're going to catch up on everything that's going on. So that's what will happen. So Freeform Friday is an offload of everything that was going on. So if you want to interact with the show, it's easy to do so. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, audio, video, and text messaging are the opciones, and then we kind of go from there. That's just kind of the way that it goes. So easy enough. I hope so. As we are going, as we are talking, as we are, doing everything. So outside of that, that's it. So we have some professional broadcasters that are waiting in the wing that want to talk about what the hell's going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that is kind of what happens. And then outside of that, well, we do have some things that we have to talk about. We call this segment the Week in Review. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this, and we can go ahead and do that, I guess right now.
Tonight, as Donald Trump's FCC targets ABC in a move widely viewed as government retaliation, the president's personal vendetta against Jimmy Kimmel is getting amplified by the White House. This morning, Trump took to social media to again call for Jimmy Kimmel's firing after the late-night host joked that the First Lady looked like an expectant widow in a sketch last week.
The cost of the war with Iran surging fast and straining the budgets of American families and businesses. Drivers are now paying an average of $4.40 a gallon.
There's news tonight involving Jeffrey Epstein. Was there a suicide note? The New York Times now reporting that Jeffrey Epstein may have written a suicide note before hanging himself in jail. The note reportedly under seal for the last 7 years.
Mission accomplished for King Charles tonight. He and Queen Camilla have left the United States after a charm offensive on President Trump that seems to have worked.
He's a great king. The greatest king.
Breaking news late today, a federal grand jury indicting former FBI Director James Comey for a second time now. Federal prosecutors targeting one of President Trump's top political adversaries, this time accusing him of threatening the president's life.
Country artist David Allan Coe has died. He was 86. Coe wrote famous songs including Take This Job and Shove It.
The end of a brutal 24-hour stretch of violent weather across the country, with the epicenter of the damage in the town of Mineral Wells, Texas, devastated by an EF3 tornado.
You guys see this? The State Department is introducing new passports with Trump's face on them to celebrate America's 250th anniversary. It's hard to tell who looks more upset about Trump being on that passport, you or him.
Okay, so there you go. There is the week in review with everything going on so far. So what do you think? By the way, have you seen this passport that's being referenced? Have you seen it? I'm just asking. And how long is that going for? I know that it was a limited time in regards of how many would have that, but have you seen the passport? Just asking for a friend. So there you go. Okay, so outside of this, I do have my friends from Feature Story News waiting in the wings. They're ready to go. So if you're ready to go, they're ready to go, and I think we should get this started right now. Let's get the ball rolling. The ball rolling or the ball rolling? I mean, I can't even talk this morning. Am I half asleep still? I don't even know.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. The UK's terror threat has been raised to severe, the second highest level. It means a terrorist attack is considered highly likely in the next 6 months. It follows the stabbings of 2 Jewish men in North London earlier this week, the latest in a spate of anti-Semitic attacks in the UK in recent months. A 45-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder. Metropolitan Police Chief Mark Rowley says his force is working hard to protect Jewish communities.
We've been putting immense resources into North West London protecting Jewish communities over the past few weeks, which I know community leaders have noticed, and we're really determined to sustain that level of protection. They're certainly under threat, absolutely. The sustained series of arsons we've seen, and then this horrific attack, it's very much targeted at Jewish communities.
There are warnings that many small hospitality businesses in India face an uncertain future as commercial cooking prices have risen by roughly 30% amid ongoing tensions in the Middle East. Ishan Garg reports from New Delhi.
While domestic liquefied petroleum gas prices remain unchanged for now, the hike in commercial prices is likely to push up operating costs for eateries, catering services and small-scale industries. India imports more than 2/3 of its LPG requirements, and about 90% of it comes through the now blocked Strait of Hormuz, and it's feeding into domestic commercial fuel rates. Industry bodies say repeated hikes could eventually translate into higher price for consumers, even as businesses are trying to absorb costs to protect demand for now. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
Apple has accused India's competition regulator of overstepping its authority by requiring the US tech giant to submit financial records in an antitrust case, according to the news agency Reuters. It comes as Apple's outgoing CEO, Tim Cook, said he was excited about India and the huge growth opportunity in the country. Rebecca Bunden reports from Mumbai.
The Competition Commission of India has for the past 2 years been seeking Apple's financials. This is in relation to an investigation which concluded that the US tech company abused its dominant position in the smartphone apps market in India. The information is required so the competition body can calculate a penalty for this case. Apple has denied any wrongdoing. The company is concerned that it could potentially face a fine of up to $38 billion if its global turnover is used to calculate the penalty, and it is challenging this law. The Competition Commission of India has scheduled a final hearing for later this month and given Apple an ultimatum to submit its financials. Meanwhile, outgoing CEO Tim Cook, on a call with investors, said that India presented a huge opportunity for the company.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the fear of Britain's Jewish community after a 45-year-old Somali man is accused of stabbing two members of a London suburb's Jewish population in broad daylight. The country's Prime Minister, the head of the Metropolitan Police and the local Member of Parliament were all jeered and barracked by local residents when they visited the scene of the attack in Golders Green. And many Jews say that with a rising tide of anti-Semitic and, in this case, terrorist assaults being launched against their community, they no longer feel safe in Britain. Lord Daniel Finkelstein is a journalist and author of his own family's history, Hitler, Stalin, Mum and Dad.
People are shocked and they're angry. They want to quite reasonably put pressure on anybody who can help us stop this happening. What had seemed a completely tranquil country does now seem more scary to Jews. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, and I'm glad my parents settled here. It's just that everywhere in the world, whether it be Bondi Beach or Israel or the United Kingdom or Paris or Amsterdam, it's not completely safe for Jews.
There are around 275,000 Jewish people living in the UK. Some say they fear for their safety in public, but others say they're not choosing to abandon wearing any obvious symbols of their faith in order to defend Britain's freedoms. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the UK's terror threat level has been raised to severe following the stabbings of two Jewish men in North London on Wednesday. A 45-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder. There are warnings that many small hospitality businesses in India face an uncertain future as commercial cooking prices have risen by roughly 30%. And Apple has accused India's competition regulator of overstepping its authority by demanding financial records in an antitrust case. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
Let's start using cutting-edge warp speed 5G technology with your cell phone. Let me tell you about my friends at mobilemobile.io. They have an ultra-fast 4G LTE and 5G network that covers 99% of Americans. So they've got you covered everywhere. Think about it for a moment. You have the opportunity to take a test drive for 10 days with unlimited talk, text, and premium data. What is premium data? Premium data is an allotment of a cellular data that you receive from a higher priority on the network. You won't get throttled like you will with some of those, well, non-brand service providers. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to mobilemobile.io. That's mobilemobile.io to start your 10-day free trial.
Hello. You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, something magical is coming your way right now is what she said. So there you go. Let's start talking all about everything that's going on inside of this multiverse of ours. Okay, so take a listen to this real quick. President Trump has signed a new executive order creating retirement accounts for millions of workers who currently have no access to 401k or employer-sponsored plan. During a ceremony in the Oval Office, the president said that he wanted to extend to all Americans the same type of retirement option available to federal employees. Under the order, low-income workers without an IRA through their employer will receive up to $1,000 a year in federal matching contributions. So there you go. That happened. Also, Trump announced, President Trump announced that has named Dr. Nicole Saphier as his new nominee as U.S. Surgeon General, replacing Casey Means after her rocky confirmation process. Trump announced the pick on Truth Social, praising Nicole. Do we have to fucking say everything on social media? A radiologist and a Fox News medical contributor, as a star physician known for guiding breast cancer patients and communicating complex health issues clearly. He said that she would help make America healthy again. Saphier currently serves as a director of breast imaging at Memorial Sloan Kettering, Monmouth, and New Jersey. She is the board certified in diagnostic radiology and trained Ross University, Maricopa, Integrated Health Systems, and Mayo Clinic. Her specialties include breast imaging, CT, and ultrasound. She also has been a prominent media figure and author writing Making America Healthy Again, later adopted by RFK Jr.'s slogan. Panic Attack about COVID-19 era restrictions, and a 2024 book on motherhood. She previously amplified a false claim in 2022 that the CDC was seeking to mandate COVID-19 vaccines for students, something the agency had no authority to do. Saphier becomes Trump's third Surgeon General nominee. The first, Jeanette Newswad, was withdrawn. The second was Casey Means, and a wellness influencer aligned with RFK Jr., faced bipartisan scrutiny over the vaccine views, medical credentials, and the lack of full medical license. Trump said that Means will continue working on health issues that the administration sees fit for her to do. So there you go. What do you think? I know it seems like we have to spend a good chunk of the show talking about politics or something related to politics because so much shit changes in the overnight. It's just mind-boggling to me.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so take a listen to this because, we had to talk about it. NASA's top official just joined the movement to make Pluto a planet again. During a Senate hearing on NASA's 2027 budget, Administrator Jared Isaacman said that he's supporting restoring Pluto as a full planet status. He told Senator Jerry Moran, that he's very much in the camp in bringing Pluto back, and said that NASA is preparing a scientific paper to help reopen the debate and honor Pluto discovered by Claude Tombaugh. Pluto has downgraded to a dwarf planet in 2006 after International Astronomical Union ruled that it didn't clear the orbital neighborhood and one criteria for being a planet. Any reversal would be up to the IAU, not NASA, but Isaacman's stance adds momentum to the long-running push that intensified after the 2015 New Horizon flyby revealed that Pluto's mountains, glacier atmosphere, and heart-shaped region. So there you go. Why doesn't somebody just go and take a look at the planet? I mean, I'm just saying, at this particular point, I mean, what the hell does it matter? So there you go. Okay, so let's talk about some other stuff because, man, is there a lot in the news section in regards of what the hell's going on? Let's talk about this. Cole Thomas Allen, the 31-year-old California man accused of attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump at the White House Correspondent Dinner, will remain in federal custody after his defense team abruptly dropped his request of a pretrial release. At the hearing yesterday, Allen's attorney told the judge that the defense was conceding detention, reversing a memo filed by 1 day earlier, arguing that he should be released due to his clean record, advanced degrees, employment history, and strong community ties. Allen is charged with the assassination-related offenses and multiple firearm counts after prosecutors say that he fired a shotgun in the stairway leading to the ballroom during the April 25th dinner at the Washington Hilton. In a filing, the Justice Department said that Allen photographed himself before the attack wearing wearing a shared knife piler and a wire cutter. Items later recovered during his arrest. Prosecutors also say that he emailed family, friends, and former employees minutes before the shooting, outlining the list of administration's officials that he considered targets. Given those details, prosecutors argue that no release conditions could ensure public safety, writing that Allen's alleged motivation for violence would persist as long as the president and the cabinet members continue to appear publicly. Allen's next court day is May the 11th, when preliminary hearing, essentially a mini trial, will determine whether the charges can move forward.
Duh.
So I don't know if you know this, but yesterday there was a release of the video of Cole Allen kind of scouting the place, walking around, and then there's the physical video itself of him making a run for it. And I don't know how he made this determination, which kind of makes it very interesting to me, that he knew, or there's an assumption that he knew, that the metal detectors were being taken down when he decided to make a run for it. Like, the timing was perfect on that behalf. And I did not realize, because this is a higher grade video than the grainy shit that was released originally, that you can see him actually fire the weapon as he's making a run for it before there's several shots fired towards him. And then you see all the agents kind of moving around. It's very interesting. There's a sped up version of the video online. I think it's about 8 or 9 minutes long. And then there's a slowed down version on when everything, or the same cut, has a slowed down portion of it where you can see exactly what is going on. So it's a very interesting video. If you get interested in looking it up, it's there. So there you go. Okay, let's continue talking. In a phone interview with Newsmax Greta Van Sutton, Donald Trump claimed that the United States has already won the Iran war, but said that he wants to win by a bigger margin. Trump said that the U.S. force has destroyed Iran's Navy, Air Force, and anti-aircraft system, radar, and much of its leadership. He argued that if the U.S. left now, it would take around 20 years to rebuild, but he added that this isn't enough. He said that the U.S. needed a guarantee that Iran will never have a nuclear weapon. Van Sutton had asked whether the U.S. had already effectively won the conflict, prompting Trump's response. But here's the thing. Didn't after like the first 24 hours, wasn't this the kind of the same thing? I'm just asking. I mean, because that's kind of how it went. So I don't know. I've never seen like a fight, and let's just use it this way, in mixed martial arts or in boxing, where when someone wins, they continue to fight because they already won. It doesn't make sense to me, but you have to win by a bigger margin. So we'll see what happens there. There you go. Okay, so here's an interesting one. Congress has ended the 76-day funding lapse for the Department of Homeland Security, the longest in DHS history, but the immigration fight that caused it remains unresolved. Yesterday, the House approved a bipartisan funding bill that the Senate had passed more than a month earlier. The measure restores money for most of DHS agencies, including the Coast Guard, TSA, Secret Service, and FEMA, and funds them through September. President Trump signed the bill immediately, ending weeks in which thousands of DHS employees worked without the pay and more than 1,100 TSA agents quit. The White House had warned that temporary funding was about to run out, risking an airport disruption. Notably, the deal excludes funding for immigration and customs enforcement, ICE, and Border Patrol, which continue operating under earlier appropriations. House Republicans initially resisted the bill because of that exclusion, but leadership ultimately bypassed hardliners to force the vote. Republicans now plan to advance a separate GOP-only funding package, steering tens of billions to ICE and Border Patrol, using a budget maneuver to avoid Senate filibuster. President Trump wants the bill to be on his desk by June the 1st without new limits on enforcement tactics. So let's see what happens there. Just telling you what's going on. What else do we got? Pollster G. Elliott Morris says that President Trump's latest approval numbers are so low they literally broke the scale of one of his data tracking graphs. Morris has referring to new findings from April the 10th through the 14th and numbers a poll margin of 2.6%. The survey shows that Trump's approval is sliding across every major issue area, with his numbers on inflation and cost of living dropping so sharply that the graph on Morris Portal had to be adjusted to display the lower range. As of April the 30th, Trump was at 40.3 points underwater on that issue. The poll also found that 55% of U.S. adults support impeaching Trump, while 37% oppose it and 8% are unsure. That includes about 1 in 5 of 2024 Trump voters. Morris highlighted the data as a Substack post and social media where he shared a screenshot of the graph showing steep declines. Now, listen, I'm going to tell you this because anytime that we talk about polls, we'll have somebody come up and say, well, you can make a poll say anything. Duh. Which is true. That's very true in modeling, too. And I'm not talking about like picture modeling. I'm talking about when you build out a model, you're trying to prove your concept right. I'm just telling you what they're reporting. Take it for what it is, grain of salt or not.
We at Safety FM are not responsible for what this idiot behind the microphone is saying. He is trying to be entertaining. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about this because we like to have some people call in and do the weird stuff and kind of give me some post stuff. So here, if you want to go to callinradio.com, I have one for you. There's a very specific kind of exhaustion when your body just gives up on dignity. And you know the one, the moment from where you go, I need to go to bed, that I could fall asleep literally anywhere and I do not care who sees me. Maybe it happened on a family road trip that you swore that you stay awake or to keep the driver company. And the next thing you know, you're drooling on a gas station window somewhere outside of Omaha. Or maybe it was at the airport where you started the day as a normal human being and ended up curled up like a pretzel on the floor next to an outlet. Using your backpack as a pillow or your jacket as a blanket, fully accepting that thousands of strangers were stepping over you, or maybe you just passed out. So, where has been the weirdest place, or where has been the strangest place? Was it embarrassing? Was it accidental? Or was it the best nap of your life? We want the stories, and to make sure the people to make the people go, wait, you slept where? So there you go. So just go to callinradio.com. You can put it inside of the chat box, and that will be fantastic just to see what the hell ended up happening, because man, am I always interested in some of this stuff. No doubt about that. Okay, so let's talk about this real quick. So there you go. Chipotle is rolling out a massive thank you to teachers and healthcare workers, giving up to $2 million in free entrees for Teacher Appreciation Week and the National Nurses Week. May the 12th, eligible teachers and healthcare workers can enter an online for a chance to win a free entree gift card. Teachers enter at teacherthanks.chipotle.com. Healthcare workers enter at healthcarethanks.chipotle.com. Chipotle will randomly select 100,000 teachers and 100,000 healthcare workers. Winner must verify their employment through an ID or ID.me within 48 hours. The notification begins on May the 13th. If someone doesn't verify, Chipotle will draw additional winners. Each gift card covers one regular entree, burrito, a bowl, tacos, salad, or a quesadilla, redeemable in the store, on the app, or online. To enter, participants must be 18 years or older. U.S. residents eligible for healthcare workers include everyone from doctors, nurses, to therapists, techs, aides, and travel nurses. Teachers must be K through 12 in the U.S., So there you go. So what do you think about it? I mean, I think it's very, very interesting. So there you go. So let's talk about wasting time at work. I think this will be interesting for a moment. Have you ever suspected that some of your biggest assets are also the biggest time drains? That's because the American worker wastes about 2 hours of every 8 hours a day in regards to some of the work that they do. So what do you think here? And don't start telling me about releasing agents via AI to do some of the work, because that's going to be some of the answers that I'm going to get from some people. But man, is it time to think about some of these things? Is it time to give some consideration to some stuff that is going on? That is for sure. So what do you think? What is the best use case for your work schedule and things that you should be doing? Because people seem to be going all over the place when it comes to some of it. I mean, it's just weird at times in regards of where people start getting anxious. So there you go. Let's talk about this one real quick before we get too far away. A new ranking of World Population Reviews has crowned Illinois as the most disliked state in the country. And the harshest critics are its own residents. 1 in 4 Illinoisans said that the state is the worst place to live, the highest self-satisfaction rate in the nation. The state also has been losing population, which factored heavily into the score. New Jersey landed at number 2, continuing a long-running streak at the national punchline, with 5 neighboring states naming it the least favorite. New York came in 3rd, with 12% of the residents calling it the worst place to live. And surprising stat, known worldwide. Researchers combined these factors to build the ranking. How many residents said that their own state was the worst? Whether people are moving out? How often are other states named as their most disliked neighbor? So here's the 10. Number 1 was Illinois. Number 2 was New Jersey. 3, New York. Number 4, West Virginia. Number 5, California. 6, Massachusetts. Number 7, Michigan. Number 8, Mississippi. Number 9, Connecticut. And number 10, Kentucky. I will tell you, there are some on there that I would have never expected, but I guess that's just kind of how it goes. Anyways, we would normally do a main story, but it is Freeform Friday, so here we go.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in the UK, I'm John Beaver. The UK's terror threat has been raised to severe, the second highest level. It means a terrorist attack is considered highly likely in the next 6 months. It follows the stabbings of 2 Jewish men in North London earlier this week, the latest in a spate of anti-Semitic attacks in the UK in recent months. A 45-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder. Metropolitan Police Chief Mark Rowley says his force is working hard to protect Jewish communities.
We've been putting immense resources into northwest London protecting Jewish communities over the past few weeks, which I know community leaders have noticed, and we're really determined to sustain that level of protection. They're certainly under threat, absolutely. The sustained series of arsons we've seen, and then this horrific attack, it's very much targeted at Jewish communities.
There are warnings that many small hospitality businesses in India face an uncertain future as commercial cooking prices have risen by roughly 30% amid ongoing tensions in the Middle East. Ishan Girg reports from New Delhi.
While domestic liquefied petroleum gas prices remain unchanged for now, the hike in commercial prices is likely to push up operating costs for eateries, catering services and small-scale industries. India imports more than 2/3 of its LPG requirements and about 90% of it comes through the now blocked Strait of Hormuz, and it's feeding into domestic commercial fuel rates. Industry bodies say repeated hikes could eventually translate into higher price for consumers, even as businesses are trying to absorb costs to protect demand for now. Ishan Garg, New Delhi.
Apple has accused India's competition regulator of overstepping its authority by requiring the US tech giant to submit financial records in an antitrust case, according to the news agency Reuters. It comes as Apple's outgoing CEO, Tim Cook, said he was excited about India and the huge growth opportunity in the country. Rebecca Bundan reports from Mumbai.
The Competition Commission of India has for the past 2 years been seeking Apple's financials. This is in relation to an investigation which concluded that the US tech company abused its dominant position in the smartphone apps market in India. The information is required so the competition body can calculate a penalty for this case. Apple has denied any wrongdoing. The company is concerned that it could potentially face a fine of up to $38 billion if its global turnover is used to calculate the penalty, and it is challenging this law. The Competition Commission of India has scheduled a final hearing for later this month and given Apple an ultimatum to submit its financials. Meanwhile, outgoing CEO Tim Cook, on a call with investors, said that India presented a huge opportunity for the company.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks. Today, the fear of Britain's Jewish community after a 45-year-old Somali man is accused of stabbing 2 members of a London suburb's Jewish population in broad daylight. The country's Prime Minister, the head of the Metropolitan Police and the local Member of Parliament were all jeered and barracked by local residents when they visited the scene of the attack in Golders Green. And many Jews say that with a rising tide of anti-Semitic and, in this case, terrorist assaults being launched against their community, they no longer feel safe in Britain. Lord Daniel Finkelstein is a journalist and author of his own family's history, Hitler, Stalin, Mum and Dad.
People are shocked and they're angry. They want to quite reasonably put pressure on anybody who can help us stop this happening. What had seemed a completely tranquil country does now seem more scary to Jews. I wouldn't want to live anywhere else, and I'm glad my parents settled here. It's just that everywhere in the world, whether it be Bondi Beach or Israel or the United Kingdom or Paris or Amsterdam, it's not completely safe for Jews.
There are around 275,000 Jewish people living in the UK. Some say they fear for their safety in public, but others say they're not choosing to abandon wearing any obvious symbols of their faith in order to defend Britain's freedoms. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
To recap the top stories, the UK's terror threat level has been raised to severe following the stabbings of 2 Jewish men in North London on Wednesday. A 45-year-old man has been charged with attempted murder. There are warnings that many small hospitality businesses in India face an uncertain future as commercial cooking prices have risen by roughly 30%. And Apple has accused India's competition regulator of overstepping its authority by demanding financial records in an antitrust case. That's the latest feature story news. John Beaver reporting.
Bringing you information you never knew you cared about. Rated R Safety Show.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's RULA.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to Rula.com RULA.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's RULA.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all three books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
Hey there, Jay Allen here with Safety FM, where we just don't talk about safety, we live it. And when it comes to safeguarding your future, there's no better partner than Acorns. This part of the show has been brought to you by Acorns, and a powerful tool that makes saving and investing easier than ever. We all know that investing can feel overwhelming, especially with busy lives and no time to dive into the nitty-gritty of financial markets, but Acorns changes the game. With Acorns, you don't need to be a financial expert or have a hefty sum of money to get started. In fact, Acorns lets you begin with just spare change. All about those small steps, small investments today that can build into something much bigger over time. Acorns recommends that the expert build portfolio designed to fit financial goals. Then it does the heavy lifting for you by automatically investing your money. It's like having a financial advisor in your pocket working around the clock to help your money grow. So why wait? Head over to acorns.com/safetyfm or download the Acorns app and take that first step towards securing your future today. Remember, in the world of safety and investing, small actions today can lead to mighty outcomes tomorrow. Paid non-client endorsement. Compensation provides an incentive to positively promote Acorns. Investing involves risk. Acorns Advisors, LLC, and SEC registered investment advisors. View important disclosures at acorn.com/safetyfm. At Safety FM, we're all about making smart decisions on the job and in life. So take control of your financial future. This is Jay Allen reminding you to stay safe, stay smart, and invest in your tomorrow.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
I know you all want to hit your revenue targets and get the launch done. Well, making sure that your team knows what to do and how to do it is a huge part of it. So I'm sure that you all do different kinds of training, and I'm willing to bet that you probably use PowerPoint, Zoom, etc. I also bet that when you get someone droning on about a topic using these tools, you probably zone out. And your team does too. I mean, it is a reality of what happens. That's why I strongly recommend a tool called Articulate 360. That makes it so easy to whip together interactive, really beautiful e-learnings that really engages people and gets info across. You can create short-form micro-learning, super interactive courses, and really whatever you need when you're in their site. Then with a couple of clicks, you can send it out and check on it and see the progress of your team. Your team can also check back on the training anytime they want in a super simple portal. Literally everyone uses Articulate. Over 120,000 companies and all 100 Fortune 100 companies. Check it out at articulate.com/360 to start a free trial. That's articulate.com/360 to start your free trial. And don't forget to tell them that I was the one that sent you there.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
They're good. They're very funny.
They're hilarious. They just be whoever they want to be.
It's just really funny.
Rated R Safety Show.
I guess I was alright.
Okay, here we go. 45 minutes past the top of the hour. And you are still hanging out here on the Rated R Safety Show. This right here that you're taking a listen to, this is Salia. The song is called Bitter. Not to be confused with yesterday's song that was called Better, but this one's Bitter. Songs readily available on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and Pandora. We would like to thank Salia for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. So there you go. Yeah, always like playing the new stuff because, man, what a fun time when we get to experience some new music together. No doubt about that. Anyways, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime, and that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help, and we want you to know that people have been where you are now, and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com to write love on her arms. Once you get there, all you have to do is go to the far right-hand side and click on the section that says Find Help. You'll see information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorder, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support, just to name a few. That's TWLOHA.com. Seriously, it can change everything for you just by going to the website. Seriously, not a joke as I say that. TWLOHA.com to write love on her arms. Okay, so with that being said, let's continue talking about some other things that are going on inside of the multiverse of ours because it is time to do that. Why don't we go ahead and talk a little bit about what the hell is hitting the multiplex? Because that is kind of what we do around here. Some new movies coming out today. Animal Farm starring Jim Parsons, Seth Rogen, Andy Serkis, Woody Harrelson, and Glenn Close. A statistical fable following an animal revolution as pigs seize power and the farm descends into the ruthless dictatorship. So there you go. That's rated PG, hitting theaters today. Deep Water, starring Aaron Eckhart, hits today, rated R. A group of international passengers en route to Los Angeles to Shanghai are forced to make an emergency landing in shark-infested waters. Also, The Devil Wears Prada 2, starring Meryl Streep, Anne Hathaway, Emily Blunt. As Miranda Priestley nears retirement, she reunites with Andy Sachs to face off against a former assistant turned rival. Rated PG-13's in theaters now. Hokum hits the theaters as well, starring Adam Scott and David Wilmore. A horror writer visits an Irish inn-scatterer and his parents' ashes, unaware the property is said to be haunted. Rated R hits theaters today. Also, Swapped, starring Michael B. Jordan and Justina Machado. A tiny woodland creature and a majestic bird suddenly swap bodies, forcing them to team up to survive in the wildest adventures of their life. That's streaming on Netflix starting today. So there you go. That's what's going on with movies. Let's talk about this. This is coming up July the 13th, Reality Shift. Taking place here in good old Orlando. Would love to see you there. We're going to be doing a one-day event inside of a movie theater. Out of all places, a movie theater. Talking about behavior-based safety with Nick Weatherly. Talking about human and organizational performance with Todd Conklin. We're going to watch a documentary because we're in a freaking movie theater, of course. And then I will be there to talk about Signal. It's a one-day event occurring in Orlando, specially priced for the one-day event itself, hitting Monday, July the 13th. All you have to do is go to safetyfm.io or scan the little QR code that's on the screen. It can change everything for you just by going over there, taking a look at what the hell is going on. I'm going to tell you, because we are doing this for the first time, it is specially priced before we go out and hit the road with it outside of Orlando, just so you know. So reality shifts, safetyfm.io, or you can go to safetyfm.com and click on live events. Or, one more time, scan that QR code that's right there to find out more information. So, there you go. Anyways, with that being said, why don't we go ahead and do this? Let's bring some John Small into our life and let him tell us about the Motivation Minute. No, seriously. Let's do that.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Colby. Vincent van Gogh said, "If you hear a voice within you that says you cannot paint, then by all means paint, and that voice will be silenced." But I'm going to add, if you hear a voice say, "Cut off your ear and give it to a lady," maybe don't listen to that voice, Vincent. He supposedly did that in 1888, but I recently learned that he probably didn't really do that at all. A friend and fellow artist, Paul Gauguin, I don't know if I'm saying that right, he may have nicked Vincent's ear while they were fencing with swords. The two men made a pact of silence. Vincent was endeared to his friend and didn't want him to get in trouble, but it was dark and we suspect that Paul didn't intend to hit his friend. The rumor mill began churning right away, and the legend was so big that even though the myth has pretty much been busted, I'm sure many generations will still believe the whole Vincent van Gogh ear thing. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
The Federal Reserve signaled Tuesday it will hold key interest rates steady amid cooling inflation, but watchful eyes on trade tariffs.
Officials cited steady job growth and wage pressures as anchors. Markets reacted calmly, with bonds dipping slightly. Fed Chair Powell stressed data-driven path forward in prepared remarks. Kevin Sanders reporting.
Iran extended its blockade of the Strait of Hormuz on Tuesday, sparking a sharp jump in oil prices to over $117 a barrel worldwide.
The key waterway carries 1/5 of global crude shipments. Traders fear prolonged disruptions from the Middle East conflict. World Bank warns of biggest oil supply loss ever recorded. Gary Beck reporting.
Former FBI Director James Comey faces fresh felony charges Tuesday in North Carolina for allegedly threatening President Trump's life over a social media post.
A grand jury indicted him on 2 counts of willful threats to harm the president. The case stems from Comey's Instagram seashell photo, seen by prosecutors as coded menace. Comey denies intent. Trial date pending. Jessica Oakley reporting.
Tick season exploded early across the U.S. this spring, with unusually high bite reports flooding clinics from coast to coast on Wednesday.
Experts blame mild winter and booming deer populations for the surge. Health officials urge repellents, checks after hikes, and quick removal to avoid Lyme disease. Cases up 30% from last year already. Kyle Norris reporting.
Heavy flooding across southern China has forced thousands to evacuate as relentless rains submerge streets, cars, and homes in provinces like Guangxi and Guangdong.
Authorities declared emergencies in affected areas late Tuesday. Rescue teams pulled people from waist-deep water using boats. No deaths reported so far, but damage assessments continue amid forecasts for more downpours. Chris Anderson reporting.
The United Arab Emirates announced Wednesday it will leave OPEC, dealing a major blow to the oil cartel amid rising global tensions and supply worries.
The Gulf nation's energy minister cited need for production flexibility outside group quotas. This reduces OPEC membership to 11 countries from 12. Analysts call it a win for President Trump, who long criticized the group, as the UAE eyes closer U.S. ties. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A gunman with a shotgun and knives rushed security at the White House Correspondents' Dinner Saturday, firing shots aimed towards stairs where President Trump stood.
Secret Service agents tackled the suspect inside the Washington Hilton after he breached a checkpoint. New filings detail his arsenal and a manifesto showing intent to target Trump officials. The event canceled. No injuries reported among attendees. Lawrence Keller reporting.
The Pentagon's top budget official told Congress on Wednesday that the war with Iran has cost the United States an estimated $25 billion so far.
He testified that the figure covers deployments, munitions, and support operations since fighting began. Lawmakers from both parties pressed him on how long current funding can last. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is also set to answer questions about strategy and oversight in a separate hearing. Liam White reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
If you ever wished that Facebook had a suck it button, you suck! This rock block is for you.
Okay, there you go. If you need a suck it button, there you go for sure. Anyways, let's start talking right away about some things that happened back on this date. Bayer introduced aspirin in a powder form back in 1889. In 1939, Batman comics hit the street. Let's see, in 1971, Amtrak Railroad begins operation. Let's see. In 1984, Mick Fleetwood of Fleetwood Mac files for bankruptcy. And let's see. In 1997, Tony Blair elected as PM of the UK. Now, it happened all on the days that I am referencing. In some other news, let's talk about some celebrity birthdays that are going on today. Judy Collins turns 87. Rita Coolidge turns 81. Dan Florek turns 75. Ray Parker Jr., yes, Ghostbusters fame, turned 72 today. And yeah, just in case, that's the guy that did the Ghostbusters song. Not saying that he wrote it, just saying that it says Ray is known for writing and performing the theme song to 1984's Ghostbusters, but if you ever listen to it, you know that it's really copied from Huey Lewis in the News. I want a new drug. So there you go. Also, Tim McGraw turns 59 today. So there you go. Some birthdays going on. Let's talk about some things that you ought to know. So there you go. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $178 million. Tomorrow's Powerball jackpot is for $20 million. Let's see. NASCAR's worth 400 NASCAR race airs on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. Eastern Time from the Texas Motor Speedway. Also, don't forget about the Kentucky Derby. It airs tomorrow on NBC. Main race post time is set at 6:57 p.m. Coverage of the race day begins at 11 a.m. Eastern.
More sarcasm than a Mortal Kombat beatdown. Rated R Safety Show.
That's what happens when you hit the wrong button. Okay, new federal data shows that the U.S. national debt has officially surpassed the size of the U.S. economy, a milestone not seen since the end of World War II. According to the Bureau of Economic Analysis, as of March 31st, debt held by the public reached $31.27 trillion, while nominal GDP for the 12-month period ending in March is estimated at $31.22 trillion. In other words, the debt has now edged slightly above the national total economic output. So there you go. Also, in some other news, President Trump said yesterday he would probably consider pulling U.S. troops out of Italy and Spain, expanding the administration's review of reducing America's military presence in Europe. The comments came one day after he announced a similar review of troops levels in Germany. When asked directly about Italy and Spain, Trump replied, "Yeah, probably. Why shouldn't I?" And he added that Italy has not been of any help to us, and Spain has been horrible, absolutely horrible. So there you go. That's what's going on. Anyways, at the top of the hour, I will be going over to radiobig.fm. If you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so, we'll be talking about the world of music and entertainment over there. If you want to come and hang out, if you don't, that's perfectly fine as well, as you can hang out here on Safety FM with the likes of Sheldon Primus as he talks about the world of safety consulting. So there you go. By the way, I hope he doesn't mind me saying it, but yesterday the Primus household received a doctor, meaning that his kid has graduated from college as a doctor. So congratulations to them and into the entire family. So there you go. Let's give you some words of wisdom for today. Confidence grows the moment you stop asking permission. And if you need some advice for today, try this. To remove water stains from wood, rub the spot with a little mayonnaise. The oils pulls the moisture from the surface. So there you go. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios. as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.